Prince George, as one of the youngest and most prominent members of the British royal family, has always been in the public eye since his birth. As third in line to the throne, every move, expression, and moment of his life is closely observed and analyzed, often with great affection by the public. Despite his royal status, however, Prince George has proven time and again that he is just like any other child, filled with innocence, emotions, and an innate sense of wonder about the world around him. One particularly heartwarming moment that truly captivated the world occurred during a significant public event when Prince George unexpectedly broke down in tears on live television. This rare display of raw, genuine emotion not only melted the hearts of millions, but also humanized the royal family in a deeply profound way. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The event in question was one of grand importance, attended by a sea of dignitaries, members of the royal family, and throngs of onlookers. It was the kind of moment that demanded grace, composure, and restraint, qualities traditionally associated with the monarchy. For such occasions, even the youngest royals are trained to present themselves with remarkable poise, a reflection of the family's long-standing traditions. At first, Prince George seemed to fulfill these expectations perfectly. Dressed smartly in a tailored outfit befitting the occasion, he sat quietly, his small frame dwarfed by the grandeur around him. Cameras panned to him occasionally, capturing his polite smiles and attentively curious demeanor as he watched the proceedings unfold. However, as the event progressed, something shifted. Observers began to notice subtle changes in his expression, a furrow of his brow, a quiver of his lips, and the occasional rub of his eyes. Initially, it was unclear what had unsettled him, but it was evident that Prince George was beginning to struggle under the weight of the moment. What made this so remarkable was not just the fact that it happened, but the realization that even a child raised within the most rigid confines of royal life could not suppress the natural emotions that arise when overwhelmed. For a child as young as Prince George, the pressure of such an event, being surrounded by crowds, cameras, and the formalities of tradition, must have been an extraordinary challenge. It was not long before those subtle signs culminated in a powerful and undeniable moment. Tears welled up in his big, expressive eyes, and before anyone could intervene, Prince George broke down in front of the cameras. His small shoulders began to tremble, his face crumpled in a way that was utterly familiar to parents and children alike, and his tears began to flow. There was a hush of surprise and concern from those nearby as the cameras, usually so careful to maintain a respectful distance, unintentionally lingered on this tender, unscripted moment. It was impossible to look away because there was something so relatable, so universal, in what had just unfolded. This brief but deeply moving display of emotion had an immediate impact on those who witnessed it. Viewers from around the world were struck by the vulnerability of the young prince. Social media platforms lit up with messages of compassion and understanding. Parents, in particular, were quick to empathize, recalling moments when their own children had been overtaken by emotions in situations that felt far too big for them. The response was overwhelmingly positive, a rare instance of unity where people collectively embraced the simple truth. Prince George may be royal, but he is also a child. In that moment, the expectations of decorum and the heavy weight of royal heritage paled in comparison to the profound humanity on display. This moment, small as it might seem in the grand scope of royal history, was an essential reminder of the reality of childhood. Children, no matter their status or upbringing, are not immune to feeling overwhelmed. The bright lights, booming sounds, and sheer enormity of public spectacles can easily trigger tears and frustration. Prince George's breakdown underscored how challenging it can be for young children to navigate adult spaces, especially when expectations are impossibly high. Unlike most children, however, Prince George's experience unfolded under the relentless gaze of the media, immortalizing his vulnerability in a way that will forever be remembered. In addition to the public's sympathetic response, this moment sparked an important conversation about the pressures placed on young members of the royal family. For centuries, the British monarchy has been synonymous with stoicism and restraint, values that have been ingrained into every generation. Members of the royal family are taught from a young age to maintain composure in all situations, as their behavior is perceived to represent not just themselves, but the institution of the monarchy as a whole. This rigid tradition often requires them to suppress their emotions, a practice that can be difficult for even the most seasoned adults, let alone a child still learning to understand his feelings. Prince George's tearful moment was a stark contrast to these expectations, and in many ways, it brought a refreshing shift in perspective. While the public has long admired the royals for their sense of duty and dignified behavior, there is also a growing recognition of the importance of allowing them to be human. A child breaking down in tears, even in such a formal setting, should not be seen as a failure of protocol or parenting. Instead, it is a moment of pure honesty that transcends the often rigid confines of royal life. Prince George's tears reminded the world that even royalty cannot escape the most basic aspects of human nature. For those who have followed the lives of the younger royals, this moment also highlighted the challenges faced by Prince William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales, as parents. While they are undoubtedly raising their children with the same sense of duty and tradition that comes with royal life, they have also been vocal about their desire to provide a balanced and loving upbringing. They strive to give their children as normal a childhood as possible, filled with love, laughter, and opportunities to grow away from the limelight. However, moments like these are a stark reminder that their children are still growing up under immense scrutiny. It is a delicate balancing act, one that few families could truly imagine navigating. In many ways, Prince George's breakdown resonated so deeply because it felt like a small, unscripted crack in the otherwise polished veneer of royal life. For a brief moment, the grandeur and pomp fell away, and all that was left was a small boy who felt overwhelmed. The world saw not a prince but a child who, despite his title, experiences the same emotions, fears, and uncertainties as any other. This humanizing moment connected the public to the royal family in a way that few others have. It reminded everyone that beneath the crowns, titles, and formalities, they are still people, just like us. The event also shed light on the broader implications of growing up in the public eye. While Prince George will undoubtedly receive the best guidance and support available, his life will always be different from that of other children. Every step he takes, every smile he offers, and every moment of vulnerability will be dissected, analyzed, and remembered. Such scrutiny can place an immense emotional burden on a child, one that few can truly comprehend. This particular moment of breaking down highlighted the importance of protecting young royals from unnecessary pressures and providing them with the space to grow, learn, and make mistakes without judgment. For the British public, and indeed the world, this moment was also a reminder of why the younger generation of royals has been so widely embraced. Prince George, along with his siblings, represents the future of the monarchy. As the world continues to change, so too does the public's perception of the royal family. Moments of vulnerability, like George's tears, add to a sense of relatability and authenticity that many have come to appreciate. Rather than demanding perfection, there is a growing understanding that it is the human moments, the laughter, the mistakes, the tears, that make the royals all the more endearing. While the focus remained on Prince George's emotional moment, it is also worth considering how events like these can influence broader societal perceptions of childhood emotions. Too often, children are expected to behave like small adults, especially in formal or public settings. Prince George's breakdown served as a powerful reminder that children should not be held to such rigid standards. Emotions are natural, healthy, and a fundamental part of growing up. Allowing children the freedom to express themselves, even when those emotions are difficult, is a vital part of supporting their development. In a world that is increasingly focused on perfection and appearances, George's tears were a reminder of the beauty of authenticity. While Prince George's emotional moment was brief, its resonance extended far beyond the event itself, prompting deeper reflection on the realities of being a young royal in today's media-saturated world. For decades, the British monarchy has existed as an institution steeped in tradition and mystique, a symbol of constancy in an ever-changing society. Yet, with the rise of technology, the accessibility of live broadcasts, and the pervasive presence of social media, the veil of privacy that once surrounded royal children has been irrevocably lifted. Prince George's tearful moment, though innocently natural, epitomized the challenges of growing up under this unrelenting gaze. At its core, this instance highlighted the tightrope that modern royal children must walk, a delicate balance between duty and childhood. Prince George, like any child, is navigating a period of growth, discovery, and emotional learning. But his upbringing is far from ordinary. Every public appearance is a lesson in decorum, and every outing comes with unspoken expectations of behavior befitting a future monarch. It is a remarkable burden for a child who is still learning to express himself, understand his feelings, and process the world around him. Watching George break down was, in some ways, a collision of those worlds. The rigid formal expectations of royal life and the uncontainable honesty of childhood emotions. This moment also offered insight into the ongoing evolution of the British monarchy. Historically, royal children were rarely seen, let alone scrutinized by the public. They lived largely behind palace walls, their lives shielded from the outside world until they reached adulthood. Photographs and public appearances were carefully curated, and the mystique of royalty was carefully preserved. However, as societal attitudes shifted and the media gained unprecedented access to the lives of the royals, this dynamic changed dramatically. Prince George, like his father Prince William and Uncle Prince Harry before him, is part of a generation raised under an entirely different spotlight. For the public, this visibility has brought a sense of connection and relatability to the royal family that was previously unimaginable. The world has watched Prince George grow from a newborn swaddled in blankets outside the hospital to a curious and playful child, capturing countless heartwarming moments along the way. His presence at public events is eagerly anticipated, and the glimpses of his personality, his infectious laughter, his shyness, his curiosity have endeared him to millions. This level of visibility, while cherished by the public, also comes with immense challenges. Every moment, even those unplanned or emotionally vulnerable, becomes a permanent fixture in public memory. Prince George's breakdown on live television also sparked a renewed examination of the media's role in covering royal children. While the footage was unintentional, its circulation underscored the fine line between genuine interest and invasive scrutiny. Royal families have long been a subject of fascination, but the ethics of photographing and broadcasting children, particularly in moments of distress, have become a topic of increasing debate. Is there a line that should not be crossed? How much privacy should royal children be afforded in an era where every expression, movement, and emotion can be captured and shared instantly? This question is particularly significant when considering the emotional impact such scrutiny can have on a child. Children are inherently sensitive and impressionable, and moments of emotional overwhelm are a natural part of their development. For most children, these moments happen privately, surrounded by parents and caregivers who can provide comfort and understanding. Prince George, however, faced this moment under an audience of millions, his emotions broadcast and analyzed in real time. It is a reminder of the extraordinary challenges of growing up as a royal, where there is little room for the kind of anonymity that most children take for granted. The implications of this moment extend beyond the immediate context of George's tears. It speaks to a broader conversation about the mental and emotional well-being of young people in high-pressure environments. While Prince George's experience is unique in its royal context, it mirrors challenges faced by children in other spheres, those who perform on stage, compete in athletics, or achieve early academic success. The pressures of living up to external expectations can be profound, and moments of vulnerability are often misunderstood or judged unfairly. George's moment of emotion serves as a poignant reminder that children need room to feel, to process, and to grow without fear of judgment or scrutiny. At the heart of this narrative lies the role of Prince George's parents, Prince William and Princess Catherine. Their approach to parenting has been widely praised for its balance of tradition and modern values, reflecting a desire to protect their children while preparing them for the responsibilities that lie ahead. They have been intentional about fostering an environment where George and his siblings can experience as normal a childhood as possible. Simple pleasures such as family outings, playtime with friends, and moments of exploration in nature are woven into their lives alongside the responsibilities of royal appearances. However, this balance is not always easy to maintain, particularly when moments like George's tears remind the world of the unique pressures the family faces. Prince William and Catherine's visible response to George's emotional moment was also significant. Their calm and reassuring demeanor reflected not just parental love, but also an understanding of the importance of allowing children to express themselves. In that brief instance, they embodied the idea that emotions are not a weakness, but a part of being human. Their ability to comfort and support George without overreacting demonstrated their commitment to raising emotionally resilient children who feel safe expressing their vulnerabilities. It was a subtle but powerful message about modern parenting, one that resonated with families worldwide. What made George's tears particularly moving was their contrast to the often stoic image of the royal family. The British monarchy has long been associated with an unshakable sense of duty, with its members often expected to suppress personal emotions for the sake of their public roles. Moments of visible vulnerability have historically been rare, and when they do occur, they tend to leave a lasting impression. Prince George's breakdown was one such moment, serving as a reminder that the expectations placed upon royals can be both extraordinary and, at times, unreasonable. Yet, in this instance, the emotional honesty of a child offered a rare and beautiful reprieve from the formality that so often defines royal appearances. Beyond its emotional impact, the event also served as a reflection of broader societal attitudes toward childhood emotions. In many cultures, there remains a lingering stigma around public displays of sadness, particularly in formal settings. Children are often encouraged to hold it together or be brave, even when they feel overwhelmed. George's tears offered a powerful counterpoint to this idea, emphasizing the importance of allowing children to express their feelings without shame or embarrassment. It was a reminder that emotions are a natural part of life, and that children in particular need space to experience and understand them. This moment of vulnerability also deepened the public's connection to Prince George. For all the formality and tradition that surrounds the royal family, it is the moments of authenticity that leave the greatest impact. George's tears, far from diminishing his image, made him all the more relatable. People saw themselves, their children, and their families reflected in that small but significant moment. It was a reminder that beneath the titles and the grandeur, the royals are people with emotions, struggles, and vulnerabilities just like anyone else. In the days and weeks that followed, the memory of Prince George's emotional moment continued to linger. It became more than just a fleeting event. It became a symbol of something greater. It reminded the world of the beauty of childhood innocence, the importance of empathy, and the need to create environments where children can express themselves freely. It also sparked conversations about the pressures of public life, the role of media in shaping perceptions, and the evolving expectations of the royal family. While the moment itself was unplanned and unexpected, its impact was profound and far-reaching. As Prince George continues to grow, this moment will likely remain a defining chapter in his early life, a tender reminder of his innocence, his humanity, and the universal challenges of childhood. It is a story that will be retold not as a moment of weakness, but as a testament to the power of vulnerability, the importance of compassion, and the beauty of being real in a world that so often demands otherwise. The emotional moment when Prince George broke down on live television was not just a reflection of the pressures he faces as a young royal. It also sparked global introspection on how society perceives the intersection of childhood, expectations, and public life. In an age where everyone, from celebrities to ordinary individuals, is under an unprecedented level of scrutiny, Prince George's tears became a mirror to the challenges that modern children face, magnified 1,000-fold by his royal position. His vulnerability served as a powerful catalyst for discussions on emotional well-being, the role of the media, and the changing expectations placed on young royals. One of the most intriguing aspects of this moment was how quickly it became a focal point of conversation worldwide. Social media platforms, news outlets, and family living rooms all seemed to converge on a singular, deeply relatable event. It was not the grandeur of the occasion or the polished, well-rehearsed traditions of royalty that resonated, but rather the unexpected display of raw emotion. People of all ages and walks of life found themselves connecting with George in ways that transcended barriers of class, culture, or nationality. After all, who hasn't experienced an overwhelming wave of emotion in a moment that felt too big or too demanding? The reaction of parents around the globe was particularly striking. Prince George's tears reminded them of moments they had shared with their own children at a school recital, a family gathering, or a public event, when the magnitude of a situation became too much. It brought to light the universal challenges of childhood, learning to navigate expectations, balancing feelings with external pressures, and understanding that emotions, even when messy, are a vital part of growing up. George's tears served as a poignant reminder of this truth and ignited discussions about how we support children, both within the confines of family life and in larger public settings. The British royal family, as a historical institution, has always carried an almost mythical aura. Its members are often seen as symbols rather than individuals, expected to represent stability, strength, and tradition. This perception, however, often comes at the expense of their individuality and humanity. Prince George's emotional moment struck a powerful chord because it peeled back those layers of symbolism and offered something rarely seen: authenticity. For a fleeting moment, George was not a prince or a future king. He was simply a little boy experiencing a very human reaction to an overwhelming situation. In this way, his tears symbolized a broader shift in how we view the royals, less as untouchable figures and more as relatable people with emotions, struggles, and lives that mirror our own. The visual nature of the moment also made it particularly impactful. Modern technology has transformed the way we consume and react to significant events. Live broadcasts and instant social media sharing mean that even the most fleeting or unintended moments are captured, replayed, and immortalized. While this level of visibility can amplify the pressure on individuals, it can also humanize them in unexpected ways. In Prince George's case, the image of his tear-streaked face, innocent, unguarded, and profoundly real, became a symbol of vulnerability that resonated far beyond the royal family. It brought attention to how moments of authenticity, even in highly formal contexts, can serve as powerful reminders of our shared humanity. This moment also raises questions about how children, particularly those born into public or prominent families, are taught to manage their emotions in public spaces. Emotional regulation is an essential part of childhood development, but it becomes particularly complex when children are subjected to external pressures and expectations. Prince George, despite his royal upbringing, is still a child navigating his emotions in ways that are natural for his age. The challenge, however, lies in the fact that his experiences unfold under a global spotlight, where every moment, whether joyful or tearful, becomes part of a larger narrative. This level of visibility can create unique challenges, making it essential for caregivers and parents to provide tools and support that allow children like George to process their emotions healthily. One must also consider the broader implications of this moment for Prince George's future. As the third in line to the throne, George will inevitably face a lifetime of public scrutiny, appearances, and responsibilities. The expectations placed on him will only grow as he matures, and his ability to balance his personal emotions with his public role will be a skill he must develop over time. In many ways, this moment of vulnerability serves as an early test of that balance, an opportunity for George to begin learning how to navigate his feelings while living in the public eye. Fortunately, the outpouring of support that followed his emotional display suggests that the public is ready to embrace a more human, authentic vision of royalty. The role of Prince William and Princess Catherine in supporting George through this journey is crucial. As parents, they have a profound responsibility to guide him through the complexities of royal life while allowing him the freedom to grow, explore, and express himself. William and Catherine have repeatedly emphasized their desire to raise their children with a sense of normalcy, ensuring that they experience the joys and challenges of childhood without being defined solely by their titles. This balance is not easy to achieve, but their efforts are evident in moments like these, where their calm and compassionate response to George's emotions underscored their commitment to prioritizing his well-being above all else. In broader terms, Prince George's breakdown also shines a spotlight on the evolving role of the royal family in the 21st century. The monarchy, while deeply rooted in tradition, is no longer insulated from the rapid changes of modern society. Public expectations have shifted, and there is a growing desire for transparency, authenticity, and relatability from the royals. Moments like George's tears reflect this shift, signaling a new era where vulnerability is not seen as a flaw, but as a reflection of real human experiences. This evolution is particularly important for the younger generation of royals, who will be tasked with redefining the monarchy's place in a world that values connection and authenticity above all else. The emotional moment also highlights how society is becoming more attuned to the importance of mental and emotional health. Conversations about mental well-being, particularly among children, have gained significant momentum in recent years. Prince George's tears served as a timely reminder of the need to create environments where children feel safe expressing their emotions without fear of judgment. It also underscored the importance of teaching emotional intelligence, a skill that allows children to understand, process, and communicate their feelings in healthy ways. By acknowledging and accepting moments of vulnerability, we send a powerful message to children everywhere. Emotions are not a sign of weakness, but a natural and essential part of being human. For Prince George specifically, this moment may serve as an important stepping stone in his personal growth. Children learn through experience, and moments of overwhelm, though difficult, can provide valuable lessons in resilience, self-awareness, and emotional regulation. George's tears, while deeply relatable, were also an opportunity for him to learn about his feelings and how to navigate them in challenging situations. With the love and support of his family, he will continue to develop the tools he needs to balance his personal emotions with the responsibilities that come with his position. In this sense, the moment was not just a fleeting instance of vulnerability, but a small, meaningful step in his journey toward understanding himself and his role in the world. It is also worth exploring the broader historical context of royal children and how their experiences have changed over time. In previous generations, royal children were often shielded from public view, their lives carefully controlled to maintain an image of perfection and composure. Emotions, particularly those deemed unseemly, were often suppressed or hidden, reinforcing the idea that vulnerability had no place in royal life. However, as societal attitudes have shifted, there has been a growing recognition of the importance of allowing royal children to experience childhood in all its messy, beautiful complexity. Prince George's tears are a reflection of this changing dynamic, a reminder that even within the confines of royal life, children deserve the freedom to be themselves. The global response to George's breakdown also speaks to the unique role that the younger generation of royals plays in bridging the gap between tradition and modernity. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected, the royals are no longer viewed solely as symbols of tradition, but as individuals who represent shared values, experiences, and emotions. Moments of vulnerability like George's tears are a powerful reflection of this shift, offering a glimpse into the humanity that lies beneath the pomp and pageantry. They remind us that the royals, despite their extraordinary lives, are not immune to the challenges and emotions that define the human experience. As Prince George continues to grow, this moment will likely be remembered not as a moment of weakness, but as a testament to the beauty of vulnerability. It is a story that speaks to the power of authenticity in a world that often demands perfection, a story that reminds us of the importance of embracing our emotions and supporting those around us in moments of struggle. For George, it is just one small chapter in what will undoubtedly be a remarkable life, but it is a chapter filled with profound meaning and significance. His tears, so innocent and unguarded, will forever serve as a reminder that even the smallest moments can have the greatest impact. Prince George's tearful moment also serves as a reflection of how childhood emotions are increasingly viewed in a more progressive light. Today's society is moving away from outdated notions of stoicism, where emotional expression was often discouraged, especially for boys. George's display of vulnerability aligns with a cultural shift that embraces emotional authenticity, recognizing its importance for healthy development. By allowing a child, even a royal one, to experience and express emotion freely, this moment inadvertently challenged societal norms and reinforced the message that feelings, no matter where or when they surface, are valid and natural. This event also underscores how the power of a single, unscripted moment can break through layers of public expectation and tradition. The monarchy, often seen as a symbol of unwavering strength, has shown through George that authenticity and connection hold just as much significance as duty and composure. It was a reminder that there is room for softness, even within institutions steeped in formality. The image of a young boy, overwhelmed yet undeniably human, resonates on a level that is both personal and universal, leaving behind a legacy of compassion and understanding, an emblem of hope that the future generation of royals will be defined by their humanity as much as their heritage. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on Prince George's emotional moment? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.